Becca, this WiLLcast was with Sarah Sippel of Stel Shay Salon.
Yes.
And you've known Sarah for some time, right?
I'm trying to do the math in my head. 20 years?
20 years.
Oh, it's longer. It's probably longer than that. We'll just say 20.
That's a long time.
That is not a comfortable feeling to say I know someone who's not family for 2 decades. But yes.
And she's a local business owner, and part of our mission at Wisconsin Lighting Lab is to, promote and honor people that design and build things. And part of building things is building her business. And her husband is in the construction business, and I think they did all the remodeling on their own. And
yeah, definitely, that's their second remodel. So
it is.
So she was affiliated with a different salon in town here. Decided to set out on her own, and they remodeled a different space on Main Street, more towards the downtown area, which was also a very beautiful space. And then they needed more as she built this wellness collective that extended beyond the salon services over. It was probably only a matter of like 4-ish years. They had this new building that they acquired, and you've been in it, I'm pretty sure.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
I've been in it.
It's great.
It's a really beautiful space. Her husband Nate's crazy good at that kind of stuff, but it's a really, really unique space that's set up and bringing a really new dynamic to the Fond du Lac community, which is great.
Yeah, it was great to have her, come in and chat about, starting out in the industry, and then, going out on her own and building it out. And I think, small businesses like that, really embody, I think, the culture that we like to develop here, at Wisconsin Lighting Lab and promote within the community. And it was great to learn a little bit more about her and everything she's trying to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, okay.
So are the salon and the collective part of the same operation,
Yes.
or did one come before the other?
The salon came first.
Okay.
And then we kind of added in a few other entities while we were at the first space.
Mm-hmm.
And then word of mouth kind of just happened, and like there was people reaching out saying that they wanted to be a part of what we were doing, and I was like, well, I can't say no to this, that would be stupid. But we quickly outgrew our first space, so it's like, well, we'll build one, I guess.
And you guys built the space, like
it was built in the
built it.
60s
Okay.
initially.
Okay.
So it was the old Social Security building
Okay.
for many years, and then
so it needed a facelift.
oh yes. Oh yes. It was funny.
We're rolling, right?
Are we good?
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
Oh, yeah.
cool.
We were just looking back because this time last year we started demolition, and Nate was looking back at the pictures, and he's like, if I would have known now, or known then what I know now, he's like, I don't know if I would have done it, because there were so many things, once you get in
It's true.
to it.
Yeah, once you tear the walls apart, and there's all kinds of fun things you find.
Oh yeah. No like hidden money or anything, unfortunately.
There was no vault.
No.
So it was the salon, and then you guys expanded the facility. What does it look like right now?
So one half of it is open concept salon space with 5 stylists, and I have 2 students right now. And then the other half is kind of where it starts to go more into the wellness category. So we have a lot of holistic treatments, a sauna, an infrared sauna, and a salt room. We also have a boutique that's new in a retail space. So we're trying that out. So technically right now we're full.
Mm-hmm.
So that's good.
Nice. And is this a common business model in salons where there's the salon component and there's a wellness component, and you're renting out space?
Mm-hmm.
Is that common?
Not the way we do it.
Okay.
And not in Fond du Lac, obviously, but so typically your spa setup with also hairstyling would be an employee-based model.
Mm-hmm.
We are all independent, but we're kind of a hybrid. We really we function as a cohesive space. So the average customer coming in would not realize that we aren't one overhead business.
Yeah, it's nice to have kind of a unified message throughout. And what sparked your interest in the kind of the wellness side of things? Were those just the types of providers that were attracted to that type of space in the area, or did you kind of know you wanted to get into that as well?
Yeah, I mean, a little bit of both. It just organically happened.
Nice.
Yeah, didn't have to try hard.
Okay. So I actually have an infrared sauna at home.
Oh, don't you love it?
Yeah, I do. And there's a funny story about the sauna, because I bought one. It was a Black Friday special. It was a couple years ago, and we have an old house. It was built in like 1910, and I did not measure the dimensions of the spa or the room that it was going to go in. So we got it. I took it apart, and I couldn't actually fit it in our basement.
Oh,
so
Anjali must have been so
yeah.
happy
So it was all the panels were set up, against in our dining room for a while, and then my sister and brother-in-law, they had a single person infrared sauna, so we ended up doing a trade. So I got the single person one, and I love it. I mean, I used it first thing this morning. I think I probably use it 5 or 6 times a week for the last 3 years. So is there a lot of interest with the infrared
It's
sauna? Building.
Yeah. It's just, it's educating people on all of the benefits, because there's so many. And you're doing it right, because consistency is key.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's so much research that's come out the last few years, and sometimes with a lot of these things, it's hard to tell. Is it working? Is it not working? But the sauna it's one of those things where once you get in the habit, you just feel really good. And I know the fire department here in town a few years ago, they were talking about getting one for all the firefighters to detox after after a fire.
Idea.
I don't know if they ended up doing it, but I can imagine there'd be a lot of health benefits for a lot of the
getting
a lot of
those
workers.
Toxins out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Actually, that's a great idea. I'm going to market that.
Yeah, you're right next to a fire department.
That's true.
I am now addicted to the salt room.
I know.
Sign me up. That was amazing. I could have taken a nap in there.
Mm-hmm.
There's a few salt rooms in the area now. Is there one in Kewaskum?
There is. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So what's the theory behind the salt room?
It's Sarah? Something with inflammation.
I mean, Sarah Lynn, the girl who runs it, she likes to kind of say it's anything from the lungs up. It clears out all those passageways. The salt is granulated, so you breathe it in and it just kind of goes through, and I kind of think of it like it's exfoliating your insides.
Yep.
That doesn't sound healthy, but it
sounds like the best way of putting it.
It's hard to get sick on the beach.
Exactly. That is what I tell people. Like, how great you feel on the beach.
Yeah.
Adam sent me a laundry list of articles. The salt room, because tis the season. There's some funk going around always, and with 2 babies in daycare,
just blast it with salt.
Yeah, Allie and I one day we did it on Friday over lunch. We popped in, we did the salt room.
Nice.
Almost took a nap, and then we popped into the boutique because Sarah's just taking all of my money these days.
What's the temperature in the salt room?
Warm,
very comfortable.
Yeah,
not crazy.
I'd say like 72 if I had to guess. It felt
it's probably 70.
And is it humid as well?
No.
Okay, so it's dry.
Yes.
Okay.
And so I didn't fully understand the salt room thing, because you see these pictures.
Yeah.
Like when you go to these high-end spas and it's all these salt blocks on the wall, but that's not it at all. Like, that's not what's doing it for you. It's the actual, she has like a machine that diffuses it, which is not the technical term, but you hear it kick in, it like diffuses it into the air, and all of a sudden I like could feel like it
taste
worked.
You feel it, you see it.
Like all of a sudden it was like the Halls commercial where they're sitting in the sauna and like I could breathe again. It was amazing. So
nice.
I bought like a 5
Packages.
pack. Oh yeah.
It's a great sales pitch.
Oh yeah. Well, that was the time to get me.
Nice.
And you can take kids in there.
Becca doesn't take a lot of convincing for anything.
God, I hope Sam's not listening to this episode. If it's good, well, so the other stuff, I mean, some of the girls here tried the foot detox, which they said was amazing. The B12 and is it D3?
Yep.
D3 injections.
Vitamin D, B12. I think she can do C2. Those are popular.
Those will be the next thing on my list.
So all the people, all the providers or the people that are doing this, how did they find you? Is it word of mouth?
Just word of mouth.
Once they knew you had a space and you were renting it out, and they're the first couple, then people started to come out of the woodwork.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Can you give your origin story? Like your whole progression? No, stop. Don't make that face.
How far back do you want to go?
Yeah. Well, 'cause, like what led you to, I think you're underselling how interesting you are.
Oh gosh. Thanks, Becca.
We just got started.
Yeah. But I mean, like from when you were, because I've known you, for a really, really long time. But like even I started going to one of the girls who came with you throughout this whole journey. And that's over 5 years ago. And a lot has changed in 5 years.
Yeah. Yeah. So so if we really want to go back, I was going to school for criminal justice at UW Fond du Lac, right out of high school, and got my part-time job at Sessobella as a receptionist during that time, and had a lot of fun doing that. But one day my boss kind of pulled me aside and she was like, well, you either need to go to beauty school or you're fired because you're always watching the girls rather than doing your job. So figure it out. And I was in my
Straight
politics.
shooter.
Yeah. I was in my politics classes at the time and I was like, yeah, I hate politics. So I dropped out and I went to beauty school instead. And
where did you go to beauty school?
Here at the Tech College, which is a great education. I highly recommend it to anybody. And then, I worked at Sessobella for 16 or 17 years. A lot of it towards the end, she was a big educator with Davines, one of the brands that we use. And so she was gone a lot. So I really learned the business end during that time. And that kind of prepared me to run my own. And
so do you typically get partnered with a particular product line that you have to use, or can you kind of is there a way to stay independent on the product side?
Yeah. Most nowadays, like we're kind of out of like the Aveda thing, where you were a full concept salon and you kind of signed a contract sort of thing. Davines, I'm very loyal to them. They treat me well. I've been an educator for them. So we don't bring in anything else that would compete with that. But if there's something that they don't offer, we can definitely bring it in.
Okay, cool.
But that's kind of my decision.
What is their differentiator product wise, or why do you like them so much?
Well, it's really the only thing I've ever worked with, and I've never felt the need to look elsewhere. I've been able to accomplish everything that I need to accomplish with it. They're very like sustainable, very earth friendly, good ingredients, innovative. So I've never felt the need to look elsewhere.
Cool. Do they do continuous training? Do they come to the salon, and do you guys have like regional training events and things? Yeah,
we have actually January, February, March. We focus on classes. It's typically a slower time in the salon, so that's when we do our education. I don't force my girls to do education. I can't, because they're technically their own business and they can make their own decisions, but I provide it in hopes that they will take advantage of it, and they always do, of course.
Nice.
Yeah.
So what kind of led you down the direction of like the people that work at your operation being independent contractors versus kind of taking everybody under the same entity? The industry was really going in that direction. Everybody wants to make their own hours. Everybody wants to make their own money. Yep. Follow their own rules. We had the work from home thing for COVID. It just kind of hit every corner of every industry. Yep. So I knew if I wanted to have longevity with my team, I needed to have that flexibility for them. But I also didn't want to give up complete control. Yep. So I've found, I think, a pretty good balance. Cool. Happy with it? I'm very happy with it. Our culture is very strong. I will protect that at all costs. Yep. That's most important to me. For sure. So, but that's a full-time job, making sure that stays intact. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, especially last few years. I think that's especially important to keep that kind of unified culture. So has it also increased kind of the variety of providers, the fact that people are independent? Yeah. Yep, definitely. I think it gives people the freedom to kind of branch out and get educated on other things that they're interested in, and not having that person that they have to like make sure this is okay, or kind of fill in the gaps on your own. So I have an 8-year-old daughter and a 3-year-old daughter, and my 8-year-old daughter, she kind of goes back and forth on what she wants to do when she's older, and she's 8, so that's okay. But one of the things she wants to do, she wants to own a salon and a salon/coffee shop.
Oh, I love that.
Ronnie's also incredibly intense for an 8-year-old, so she's definitely thought through this.
She has. And it's just kind of funny, when like we'll talk about it. I'm like, okay, well, how are you going to find customers? Who's going to work there? How will you advertise?
I wonder why she's so intense, Adam.
I love, this is what our kids need though.
I agree.
Yes.
Yeah. And she likes it. I think, she probably doesn't want to talk about it quite as much as I do, but she will, carry on a conversation about it. But what are some of the mistakes or big wins that you've made the last few years? Obviously you're very happy that you went out on your own, but if you had to do it all over again, what do you wish you could tell yourself a few years ago?
I mean, there's a reason why you should go to business school to run a business.
Yep. Is it the accounting side? Is it the HR side? Accounting? Okay.
HR, accounting, definitely.
The product is the fun part, and that the culture is the fun part. It's all the admin and all the things that are necessary evils to keep.
Yes. Yeah. The not fun stuff.
So do you do your accounting?
My husband is my bookkeeper.
Okay, so he built the building as he's the accountant. That's
yes.
Cool.
Yes. For the most part, it works. We meet, once a month, and he'll give me one of two.
You only talk to Nate once a month. That's
almost literally.
That's funny.
Sometimes a little more, but he'll either say, hey, you're doing really good, or he'll say, cool it. And that's
so you're spending on fun stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Cool it.
Yeah. So
that's all he's got to say.
the weekly daily transactions, is that apps and technology?
Yeah.
And okay.
Yep. Luckily for that stuff.
Yeah, I think there's been
a
lot of strides the last few years on that, like the point of sale system and all that. So more or less that all goes to your accounting system and it's all synced.
Yeah.
Wow. That's really cool.
What's so awesome about having the independent model too, though, is it's just my finances. I'm not keeping track of everybody else's.
Yep. So you get a rent check.
Yep.
Essentially.
Yep. So that makes things a little bit easier.
Yep. Yeah, that is true. Yeah, it simplifies the business considerably.
Yeah.
Nice. So business school, any other advice you'd give either my 8-year-old daughter or
I love your 8-year-old daughter. She reminds me of my oldest too. Very, very driven.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wants to learn, just a sponge.
Yep.
That's so great. Yeah, I mean, that's it. Just learn everything you can as young as you can and gain those experiences and ask the questions and develop those relationships. Learning relationships and learning people and personalities is so much of the battle.
Yep.
And I've made mistakes and I'm sure I will make a few more, but learn from those, be honest with yourself. I think what I'm trying to teach my kids too is don't ever put blame on somebody else. If there's a problem, look to yourself first. What can you do? And that's always
own it, right?
Yeah. Own it, learn from it. You're going to make mistakes. Who cares?
Yeah. And trying to get feedback too, being open to feedback is, whether it's a customer. I mean, at the end of the day, customers are the most important people to give feedback. And then it's the people that are interacting with the customers. And, that's one thing that I really try and do, probably a better job than I did a few years ago is, whether it's the person building the product or installing the product or the customer, the sales team that are interacting with the customer, is if you're trying to learn something, go to them first. And that's, we're fortunate as a small company or a small manufacturer. A lot of manufacturers are usually many, many layers removed from their customer. So the actual person using the product, a lot of companies our size will never even talk to them. We're fortunate we do have a direct line of communication to a lot of our customers, and it's good feedback to have. And in your case, your customer sitting in a chair, right next to the provider.
Yeah. Yeah. Be ready for anything, because
that's true.
You never know what they're going to ask.
It's true.
You kind of mentioned so the wellness initiative, like the collective, is a newer concept to Fond du Lac. How much education? I mean, obviously, as a stylist, I know you're constantly educating your customers and your clients on how to, better take care of their hair, things like that. But how much education has been required to, there's a lot of skeptics in the area because it's just the kind of place we live. Like how much
skeptics on what side?
Like the wellness.
That side.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So so what role has education played in your job? Or
huge. I mean, our service providers are very educated individually on what they do. That's one of the things I look for when I bring people on is, are they, number one, super passionate? And number two, are they always learning and, continuing to educate themselves? So that's a must. Like if it's a personality thing where they're, maybe they've been in the industry a really long time and they're kind of stagnant, like that's just not going to work for me. So they are, but one thing we're learning as a group is meeting up and giving each other education about what we do, because the clients are going to ask, oh, who's that? What's that? And we need to be able to give a good response to that and sound like we at least somewhat know what we're talking about. So we've met a couple of times and done just like short spurts of education on the sauna, the salt room, allergy food testing, whatever, lymphatic drainage, whatever it is. We try to at least have a base knowledge as a group.
Yeah, I think a lot of times too with that stuff, it's like try it, see if it works.
Yes,
there's always science on both sides that will either confirm the experience people are having or deny the experience people are having. But like the sauna, there's now, saunas, it's been around for forever. And there's actually a pretty big like sauna culture in Wisconsin because of all like Finnish immigrants and you go up north and there's a lot of saunas in the area, but it's just now it seems like it's more accepted and there's more research around a lot of the stuff people have kind of known for a long time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think there's just that big push, I think ever since COVID, of just taking better care of ourselves in general. And people are searching for alternative medicine.
Yep.
It's no surprise, like our hospitals are super, super busy. You can't get in to see your provider as easily. So people are realizing that they need to do more preventative care and get ahead of their wellness a little bit better to hopefully keep them out of the doctor's office.
I know at least a couple of the girls have a traditional, or I guess to Adam's point, like not historically traditional, but a more medical background. And they've kind of evolved and gotten into more of the holistic approach just because they saw better results themselves.
Yeah. Yeah, we're really lucky because we have Marsha, who's our injectionist and esthetician, and she still works for Freydert. She's a hospitalist with them. And so she kind of brings us that side of things because she's still very much involved in it. And then Sarah, who is a nurse and worked in OB for a really long time and also got certified through the Wellness Way for what she does now. And so she has some of that knowledge mixed with her, her newer knowledge and the way they bounce things off of one another. And it's just really neat to see because they might not both have the exact same opinion or outlook on things, but like the way that they can work together to really come up with a good solution for things is amazing.
Well, what else do you want to talk about? When are you building the next building?
I really want to be done for probably ever.
You're full though. You don't have, like, if you had to pick one more service,
we don't have a massage therapist.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
But I do have a space that I could renovate yet for that if I found the right thing. So there is some potential for growth. And I have room for stylists. Like I said, I have 2 students right now. They're both set to graduate in August and September. So I am committed to one of them for sure. And the other one I like very much right now. So I would like to also be able to bring her on. But it's a question of, can I support 2 of them with enough clients right off the bat? So we're kind of...
Do you have people coming in from a pretty big geography? Is it mostly Fond du Lac?
It's
City,
mostly
is it-
Fond du Lac,
okay.
Camel Sport, Eden,
Yep.
because that's where a lot of our girls are from,
Yep.
is those areas. But, we could definitely, Oshkosh, there's a huge market there that we could tap into yet. And we could definitely expand
Yeah.
that.
Has there been a rush or an influx with, you guys did a really awesome launch and you did like a big grand opening weekend. Have you seen a lot of new clientele now that you offer more services?
Yeah, we, everybody, I don't ever hear complaints about anybody not being busy enough. So everybody is as busy as they want to be at this point. And a lot of us are moms, so the flexible hours is needed. So I can't ever be like, you need to work more, they work as much as they want to pay their rent and make the amount of money that they want to make. And yeah, but there's always plenty to
Sarah's
go around.
always there. I've never walked into the salon and Sarah's not there. She's
I
a
am always
machine.
there. Well, you have to be there.
Yeah.
You have to.
And she's usually doing like 3 people's hair at the same time. It's unreal. I'm in awe.
What are the hours?
They're all over the place.
Is there a
Generally-
third shift?
Some nights, some nights I don't leave till 10:30. It kind of depends.
Do
Yeah,
you still cut hair?
I do.
Okay.
Like at least 40 hours behind the chair, and then
Oh, wow.
probably another 10
Yep.
just on other things.
Okay.
Someone's got to keep Tyler's hair looking fresh.
Yeah, Tyler's in tomorrow.
Nice.
Of course he is.
Well, cool.
Yeah.
Becca,
Yeah, I
anything
think-
else? Oh, go ahead.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
The biggest thing I want people to know is we don't have a full-time receptionist. So the general inquiries tend to pile up pretty quickly. So the best thing that people can do is go to our website, download our welcome packet. That will literally give you every single piece of information you need to know. Who you need to contact for what services, a description of the services, the pricing, how to book. All of that is right there. So, if you're looking for a quick response, that's the route to go. But otherwise, I do have a general number that you can contact, and I get to it as soon as I possibly can. But obviously, yes, I'm working behind the chair most of the day, so it just depends.
Cool. Do you guys have a float tank? Have you ever considered
No,
getting a float tank?
yes.
So I've done that a few times.
I have never tried it.
It's really
I want
cool.
to. I think that's
Yeah.
really cool.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you feel amazing for the next like 48 hours because it's all magnesium.
Yeah.
You're like
do you
you're swimming
sleep
in,
like a baby
yes,
after
you
that?
you feel pretty zened out. It's pretty cool. Well, thank you very much
Yes,
for
thank
coming
you.
on. It was
Yeah.
great to have you.
Yes,
It was a lot of
thank
fun.
you.